I'm on my way down to the beach, and it's an absolute stunning day here in England, in northern England. I mean, it's 8 degrees, 45, excuse me, about 45 degrees Fahrenheit. Excuse me, which for a lot of my American friends who live in the southern states, 45 degrees is pretty much winter for you guys, isn't it? I mean, it's winter here, but when it's 45 degrees here, but we have bright sunlight, it's time to get out. And there's no wind, which is very unusual for the UK, because it's blooming windy all the time, is what I'll say. So I'm trying to take advantage of a few weather abnormalities right now, in that we have bright sunshine, clear skies, no wind, and the sun is just high in the sky, and it's amazing. So it's time to get outside, and I'm blooming. I tell you guys, I can't wait until we get into spring. It's probably one of the reasons why I stopped a lot of my outdoor videos, the e-trips that I was doing, because the weather just tanked out over here in England, in Europe. I get dead jealous. I see a lot of YouTubers out and about doing videos where they're showing you towns, cities, wherever they are, and they're just rocking around in t-shirts, and the weather's never really an issue for a lot of people. But because I've been using my iPhone and I have to continually touch the screen and use all the functions and functionality of the phone, my fingers have always frozen up really quickly in the winter. So it's one of the reasons why I don't like filming in winter. And it's probably one of the reasons why I've been recording a lot of indoor videos lately. Now, it doesn't really matter what I do and what I say at the moment, because as I've said previously, oh, excuse me, my nose is itchy, on a number of occasions, for some reason, now I thought I cracked it a couple of weeks ago. One of my videos almost nudged 1,000 views organically without me having to pay for that to be seen, which is unheard of for me. My videos average anywhere from 25 views to 250 if I'm absolutely lucky. I'm in no man's land for YouTube views. But you know what? That's actually, for me, that's given me the impetus and the free rein to just go out and be free-spirited and just be happy with what I'm doing and not care about what I'm doing, within reason. I mean, it just so happens that I think what I've been doing lately has been pretty good, to be honest. I've been doing a lot of self-help, when you get into your 50s, this is the things that I do that you should do type videos. And I like doing them because, A, I'm a chatterbox, I like talking, and B, if I think it's valuable, if I think the steps that I've put into my life over the last few years and that's worked out for me, if I think anybody else can get something from that, then I like doing it. I like talking to my iPhone, and I like editing that and then ultimately sticking it on YouTube. So one of those videos had nearly 1,000 views, which blew me away, and I genuinely thought I've cracked it. I've finally arrived in the land of YouTube. Not to be. The next few videos tanked again. In fact, I've done 3 videos now, primarily aimed at people in their 50s. One of them I only uploaded last night, so it's too early to see what that one's going to do. But the other 2, one of them had over 500 views, and the other one, as I've just said, had nearly 1,000 views. So maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe I need to start putting out or churning out more content aimed at my age group, my set, my tribe. Maybe my tribe is people in their 50s. Because I do think that I have a lot of opinion that would be useful to 1 or 2 people. And I'm not blowing my own trumpet there. I really do think that if I can help, whether it's 1 person, 2 people, 3 people, with my life experiences, with some of the fuck-ups I've done in my life, learn the lessons from them, but also some of the wins. Because I have had a lot of wins in life. And I've never been a boaster. I've never really been one to shout from the rooftops. I've always been of the opinion, if anybody ever wants to learn about my life, you just pick up one of the 2 books that I wrote. Misadventure, which did next to nothing. It really, really tanked. One of the big disappointments of my life was the second book. I went into... How vain was this? My wife always said this was a vanity project, which I absolutely disputed initially. But now I think she might be onto something, because it cost me £3,000 to hire a studio to go and read my own book, because I was so disappointed that I hadn't done that with Everest. So I figured if I put my voice to my second autobiography, that it would do really well, and people would like the fact that it's me talking rather than hiring some kind of voice talent. But not so much. God, this sun makes my beard look ginger. It's brown, but the sun, it's just, yeah, it's bringing out all the ginger vibes. So it didn't do well, and I was £3,000 out of pocket. And at the time of recording this video, on February the 5th, 6th, whatever it is, I've lost track of time, February the 6th, 2025, that book's been on Audible since 2022, so coming up 2.5 years, and I think I might have sold 60 copies, if I'm lucky. So as you can see, I've not made my money back. I've not even made a dent into it. I've not even made the interest back on the money that I spent. So a huge failure, huge disappointment. I don't regret writing the book, because I love the book. I think the book's really good. The publisher, who put a lot of faith in me, thought the book was really good. And together we thought we had a good, solid, feel-good, travel-style book. Unfortunately, nobody else agreed, i.e. the readers. Everest's fared a bit better. Everest's always held its own. It's always done reasonably well. It's tailed off a little bit over the last few years, but that's to be expected. Anyway, I'm going to take up all my time. I only wanted this video to be about 20 minutes, so I spent the first 7 minutes on the way down to the beach talking away to you. So I'm going to shut up now and get down onto the beach. Come join me. Come and let's have some winter fun in the sun. If you take away all the chemical industries that I can see in my horizon, i.e. the power station, the gas station, the chemical plants, whatever else is over on that part of Teesside, take that out of the way and then look beyond that, the hills in Whitby and the North Yorkshire moors, and it's stunning. One of the nicest places in this entire part of Northern England. Let's not get too carried away. Come on, Ella. Oh, this is more like it. The last time I was down here, I think it was December, recording. I brought my drone. Don't mess around. And it's the most pain I've had in my hands since Everest. It's going to be a washout because it's bright sun. I'm not 100% sure where I should have the sun. Should I have it behind me? Or should it be more like this? There's a lot of shade and a lot of shadow going on regardless. So I'm rocking my National Geographic, what I thought was a tiger hat. But as you can clearly see, is it a leopard? Or a puma or a panther? What are the cats? The cats with stripes are tigers. The cats with spots, are they leopards? Panthers? Pumas? That's what I thought my hat was, a tiger hat. National Geographic tiger hat. But it's not. Or is it a jaguar? So I'm kind of doing two sins here of recording a vlog, and that's covering my eyes with my sunglasses. I don't think wearing a hat's an issue, is it? Because I'm just trying to keep the sun out of my eyes as much as I can. But that's the only reason why, because if I take my glasses off, I'll be straining into the sun because it's far too bright. I'm really excited that I'm heading up to Sunderland at the weekend. I'm going to be telling thee the story of the Victoria Hall disaster. I'm going to bring back my e-trips. They were the days out that I was doing last year, which I would record and turn into a YouTube episode, where I would put a bit of research into each episode and present a story from wherever it was I was visiting, such as York, Forbidden Corner, just a vampire rabbit in Newcastle, just whatever caught my attention. And I felt like I wanted to go and tell a story on it. I did. And they were called e-trips. So if you look back on my channel and you'll see these e-trips, because they're still all there, and I'm proud of them. In fact, what would be my favourite? My absolute favourite e-trip was probably the last one I recorded, and that was in beginning of October in York, where I did a feature on the translucent ghosts of York. Now, the editing that went into that, and the script writing, and the actual visuals, and everything, it all came together, and the music, it all came together really, really well, and I'm really, really proud of it. It's got about 900 views, 800 views, which is a darn sight better than what I average generally. So there's this black stuff on the beach here. This is actually sea coal. A remnant from a bygone era of all the coal mines up this coast, all the way up through to County Durham and beyond. Sea coaling used to be a popular pastime here on the beach. You'd see the wagons coming down onto the beach early in the morning and then scooping all this coal into the back of the wagon. But I don't think they do it anymore now, do they, Ella? I think the last time I was actually on this beach was just shortly after Christmas. We all came here for a walk with the family as a way to get together after one of my aunties passed away on Christmas night. So it was a huge turnout. About 30 members of my family all turned up, and we walked the dogs and reminisced about my aunt. God rest her soul. She's going to be sorely missed. Ella's off. She's doing her own thing. She doesn't want to know me when she's on a beach like this. She's taken a ball and she has gone. And I'm happy for her to do that. It means I can concentrate on talking to you. So the problem I have, as I see it with YouTube, is now, from the extensive research I've done into why I'm not getting any views, and I've actually joined an online vlogging community, like a school that's helping people start YouTube channels or develop their YouTube careers. Now, what's coming to light there, the founder of that group, a chap called Gareth, who I think he's fantastic. I love his channel and I really like what he does. He's very authentic and he mixes it up, his style of vlogging. One day he could be like this on a beach, and then the next he's in a very swish office environment. The only difference between his beach and my beach, this is in northern England and it's freezing cold and I'm staring at a power station, where his is in Thailand. I know where I'd rather be. So the problem that I think we've identified with my channel is that I haven't nailed down an avatar. No, I didn't have a clue what he was talking about. I wasn't sure what an avatar was, apart from the movie. I thought he was talking about the movie, which I do like, by the way. And I've actually been to Pandora and Disney World, and that's amazing. That's just all themed on the movie Avatar. If you've never been there, oh my gosh, it's just so immersive. And if you get a chance, do it. It's just incredible. Anyway, getting back onto what an avatar in terms of YouTube is, it's basically your demographic identifying a target audience for you to put all your content out to. Now, what's coming through very strongly for me, the problem I have is I don't have a dedicated target audience. Because I'm doing videos aimed at, life advice for my age category, over 50s, but then I'm also looking at doing these historical walk and talk style tours of places in the UK, and they just contrast each other. So there's two subgroups crossing over here, and because of that, I genuinely think that's why YouTube's not placing me, because they don't know who to share my content out to. And I don't want to have to choose one. I don't want to have to turn the channel into just me talking about the things I do in my 50s, and you should too. Even though I love doing that, but I equally love getting out and about and exploring places and going to visit haunted pubs, haunted hotels, looking at history come alive in cities and towns and in the countryside. And I don't think I want to give up that either. So I have a problem. I either keep trudging on the way I am and hope that people will come. If you record it and put it out there, they will come. But I don't think they will. Or they're certainly not at the moment. Any advice on what I can do to change that would be greatly appreciated. Because YouTube is just not helping at all. They don't want to know. They're not putting my content out there. And it's tough. It's a tough pill to swallow. I don't know what today's video is going to come out like, but it's nice. Every now and then my northern's coming through there. I am going to add a video, an episode, some content from my iPhone onto YouTube, where I literally rock up, park up, walk down onto the beach, and then just strut along the beach and talk without no agenda whatsoever, and just see where my brain takes me and see where it goes. Now the episodes I've been recording in my office, they're scripted out that I think about them. I have bullet pointed notes in front of me that I visualise and I remember, and then I verbalise that and I put it all out onto camera. Whereas these, not so much. These on the fly, ad hoc style videos are equally as enjoyable, but I just need to rein myself in because I do like talking. And if I was to just carry on talking and talking, I could very easily produce an hour's video just walking along the beach, and no one's going to watch that. Nobody watches my 5-minute walk and talk videos, so an hour's got no chance. Now this morning I woke up and I had what I thought was an interesting dilemma. It was a nice dilemma to have, but it was a dilemma nonetheless. So back in the day, shortly after returning home from my mountaineering adventures, I was a registered speaker on a speakers agency called Inspirational Speakers. And to be honest, if I'm honest, I maybe picked up a handful of gigs from them, talking gigs, over a 2 or 3 year period. Nothing major, nothing to write home about, and nothing I could certainly retire on. But then I forgot all about it. It was years and years ago. Now the last gig I actually had from this agency was probably about 2017. So you can see that in 7 years, I've had nothing from them whatsoever. An email landed in my inbox yesterday afternoon saying that they had a potential client for a sales kickoff meeting down in London at 24th of February, something like that. Who was interested in hiring me as a keynote speaker. That kit was a bolt out of the blue. It totally took me by surprise. I haven't spoken in years. I decided to hang my speaking hat up, so to speak. Now, because I hadn't spoke for quite a while, this was an interesting dilemma in many ways because I haven't been able to hone my craft. It's like anything, if you don't do something for a while, you forget how to do it. And because I hadn't publicly spoken in a long, long time, the nerves straight away started kicking in. You know, that whole imposter syndrome thing, everything that I suffered when I was a public speaker previously came back to the fore. And I just thought to myself, do I want this now at this stage of my life? I sometimes think you can't go back in life. You know, that was a chapter of my life that I did. It was a great chapter. I loved every minute of it. I closed the book on that chapter a long time ago. It's like reopening that book again, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to go there. But here's the dilemma. The money they were offering was really, really good. It's like a month's salary here in the UK for what potentially would have just been a 45-minute, 1 hour after dinner speech. I couldn't say no. I couldn't turn it down. Well, my wife would kill me for a start. You can't refuse. What's that quote? Never look a gift horse in the mouth. Is that right? Does that make sense? So I emailed the agency today and just said, look, this is a bit of a shock to me because I wasn't even aware I was still registered on your books. However, can you get a bit more information from me? Can you find out what the client wants exactly? What's the brief? What's the message that they would ultimately like me to deliver? Do they know I didn't reach the top of Everest? Do you know that this is more, my story was more about the tragedy and the adversity? Is it formal, informal? If it's formal, I've got a problem because I don't wear a suit. I would have to, obviously. I wanted to know all that before I was willing to commit. So to be fair to myself, I never walked away. I didn't walk away from it. The fear kicked in and it would have been so easy to just say, no, I'm done with that. It's given me a week and a half to prepare a talk that potentially would have netted me a good amount of money. So I had to do it. I had to say yes, ultimately. You know, I would have been nervous about it. I would have spent the next 2 weeks, you know, squeaky bum time, thinking about this talk that was coming up and wanting to do a good job. If I'm being paid well to do it, I would want to do a really good job. I sent an email, but then the email came back saying, the client's had a reshift, they've had a refocus, they're going to go in a different direction. Thanks, but no thanks. Oh, hallelujah. Hallelujah from the point of view that I don't have to be nervous anymore, that I'm not having to travel down to London in 2 weeks and deliver a keynote speak in front of 200, 300 people from a software company. But it's also not hallelujah in point of view that the money would have been good. So that was the dilemma, but I didn't walk away from it. I owned up to it. And if push came to shove, I would have done it. So I'm going to publish this video tonight on my channel with zero editing, no captions, no music, nothing. I might get the drone out of my bag in a minute and fly the drone. So I might drop some drone footage over the top of me waffling on here. But other than that, this is just as raw and as authentic as it gets. And at the moment, it doesn't matter one iota what I do in YouTube. I could spend a week editing a Mr. Beast style slick production and I would still only get 50 views. I can probably put this video up today, walking and talking, on the beach where nothing really is happening other than me, just dispensing some of my thoughts and feelings. And this could get 200 views. So YouTube at the moment, I can go and do one as far as I'm concerned. Not you. You're amazing. You who watches my video, I love you to the moon and back. And I'm speaking to you because you take the time out of your busy schedule and busy life to watch my ranting videos. But the whole platform itself and how it chops and chooses who to show content to, can go and do one. I genuinely think, if I was to title my next video, How I Became a Billionaire by 40-year-old, and you can too if you follow these 3 simple steps, become a billionaire in a week, I still think I'd only get 50 views. Now the reality is, a video of that title should get every fecker watching it. It should have millions of views because everybody would like to earn that much money. But it only gets a small amount of views because YouTube is not pushing it out to people. I'm shadow banned in many respects. I think the problem is my channel's broke. What I need to do is start again. I think I've somehow fecked up my YouTube channel and I'm not just getting nothing from it. So maybe that's something I'm going to have to look at seriously, is maybe starting again from scratch. Now in 2025, the one thing I said I was going to do was be more consistent with putting videos out. And I think being true to that, we're now into February. So in the first 5 weeks of the year, I think I've probably maybe produced 6 or 7 videos, maybe more than that. So I've started off as I mean to go on. So I'm really happy with the direction that I've taken. Despite the fact that it's winter, I thought I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm still going to produce weekly videos. I'm never going to do daily content. I just don't have the time to do that. But weekly, I can certainly produce maybe 2 videos a week. And I am excited and looking forward so much to this Saturday in Sunderland, where I am going to tell that story of the Victoria Hall disaster. I don't want to say too much more about it, other than that it was a disaster that at the time in Victorian England shocked. It was just heartbreaking beyond belief. And as a result of the disaster, safety laws were changed forevermore. Now, I know you will now go and Google all about it and you're going to read all about the disaster and you'll know all about it before I even tell you the story. But I don't want to say too much because I want to present it in my own imitable style. I'm going to go to where the hall was. The hall's no longer there. It was bombed during the Second World War. But the site, the corner where the hall was, that site's still there. And there's now a memorial statue to the victims of this utter heartbreaking tragedy. So I'm going to be telling that story at the weekend. Hopefully that will go out onto my channel Monday or Tuesday. It's going to be the return of my e-trips. Another e-trip for 35 people to watch for an average of 1.5 minutes. If I'm lucky. Come on, YouTube. Throw me a bone here. Come on then. Oh yes, this is just amazing. What a stunning day. There's not an ounce of wind. It's just beautiful. Oh, I need to ring my mum and ask her if she can pick up my daughter from the school. She comes out at 3 and I think I'm just going to be here. I don't want to leave. It's just glorious. It's like Key West without the heat. Got the sun. You see that building in the centre of the screen there? I'm going to zoom in a bit on it. It's called the Marine Hotel. That's probably one of the reasons why I'm here in this town, because my grandparents were publicans, and they were the publicans of that hotel for quite a number of years. And they relocated from Yorkshire to come here on the northeast coast and take over the running of that hotel. And interestingly, my auntie, who's just recently passed away at Christmas, the daughter of my grandparents, she was a publican as well. She went into that industry and she worked all around in Durham, down in Yorkshire again. And every Sunday prior to her passing away, she would go in that hotel and have a Sunday lunch with her sister and one of her nephews. So it's now got special memories for my family. Right, I might call it there, because I know this is going to be quite a bit already today. I'm going to go up and get a bag of chips, I think. I'm going to go to the gym at 4 o'clock, but a bag of chips won't do much damage, will it? Smother them in salt and vinegar. You can't come to the seaside and not get a bag of chips. Or an ice cream. But I'm not getting an ice cream, it's not that warm. So thanks for watching, if you've watched. If you've got any advice of what I can do about YouTube, please let me know. Because I'm seeing people producing far worse content than me, like shit videos basically, and getting thousands and thousands of views, and I'm not. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I watched a video only a few days ago, some Scottish guy ranting about the weather in Scotland and ranting about suffering from mental health, and which is fair enough. We all suffer from mental health. But the takeaway I got from watching that video, that he wasn't prepared to do anything to help himself. It's kind of like he was expecting everybody else in the world to give him a hand up, and he wasn't doing anything himself to get out of the position that he found himself in. You know, just coming onto a beach, going for a walk, going in a coffee shop, just trying to change an aspect of your day. The definition of madness, as I've always said, is a famous saying. It's doing the same thing every single day but expecting a different result. So where was I going with this? Yeah, this video's got 78,000 views. What am I doing wrong? Maybe I need to add some drama to my life. Maybe people hang on tragedy and adversity. Did I tell you I almost died on Everest? I'll save that one, possibly, for a future video. If it'll get me some views, whatever. But on that note, keep wondering and keep wandering. Oh, I'm going to explain that just before I go. I had about 1,000 comments recently on one of my videos. I didn't really. Hypothetically, I had 1,000 comments asking me why I always say keep wondering and keep wandering when I sign off my videos. It's kind of become my outro. And for me, it's life, isn't it? That's what I think we all should do in life. Keep wandering just basically means travel, get out there, break out your comfort zones. There's a big wide world out there, you know. Just get out and about, explore, break the shackles of life and be a free bird. That's what that means. And keep wondering, always be curious, always be trying to learn new experiences, always be willing to take on board new experiences, be willing to see new horizons, soak in as much information as you can, become a fountain of knowledge. Because we're only here for a short time and there's so much of the world out there to learn and discover and explore. There you go. I hope that explains why I do say keep wandering and keep wondering. Now she's looking at me like, are you actually going to throw this frigging ball for me anytime today? So I've got to go and do that now. Hopefully after this video, the next video you see will be an e-trip. I'm always conscious that I might have drool or spit on my beard. I can't tell. An e-trip from Sunderland, the Victoria Hall disaster. That's coming up early next week. Oh, it's time to have some fun with this bad boy. My DJI Neo drone. Well, I lost the lens cap for it, so I've had to order a new one. I dropped it on a beach, and it literally just a few feet in front of me. I couldn't really find it, so I've had to order another one. So yeah, let's go and fly the drone.